Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make a perfect pasta. It's an egg pasta, and it's pretty simple to make. Older woman who is quite the Italian cook gave me this recipe, and it works out pretty well. Simple recipe. It's 1 jumbo egg to every 3/4 of a cup of flour. So in today's example, I'm going to make a 4-egg pasta, so I use 3 cups of flour. And here we go. I'm going to put the flour. I've already measured out 3 cups of flour. I'm putting that right in the mixing bowl. And then I'm going to actually make a small well by turning on the mixer. And I have my dough hook in there. I'm just going to let it knock it down and make a landing area for the eggs to sit in. And that should be fine. Now, I'm going to crack our eggs. It's 1, 2, there's 3, and 4. And again, depending on how much pasta you want to make, it's a simple ratio: 1 jumbo egg to 3/4 of a cup of flour. Now I'm going to just start mixing. I usually like to put it on a little bit quicker, actually it'd be setting 2, until it breaks up the yolks and starts mixing it. This is kind of similar to the way the old Italians made it, or actually anyone who made pasta. They would make a well of flour and crack the eggs into it, and then start mixing it in by hand or with a fork. And you just do a little bit at a time until the pasta just gets to the right consistency. And now it's just a matter of letting it go and making our pasta. What I'm doing here is just helping it along a little bit. Use my spatula, push the flour down into the egg, and we're going to let it mix again. Starting to actually turn into dough now. And here's where you watch it. Sometimes, I guess maybe depending on the atmosphere, sometimes you may have to add maybe a tablespoon of water. Sometimes maybe just a teaspoon or so of flour as a final adjustment. But for the most part, this pasta here works out well all the time. I'm going to just slow it down and let it start mixing that right in. You see it, it's coming together nicely. It's mixing the flour in. See how it's sticking just a little bit? I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of flour. There's about a tablespoonful. Okay, and you can see over on the side how it's starting to pull away from the mixing bowl. I usually stop it right around that point and take the pasta out, put it on a mixing board, and then I'll just mix it the rest of the way by hand. Flour up my hands pretty well, and I'll just show you that here in just a second. Okay, I took the bowl off the mixer and I'm going to just place a cutting board down, my nice wooden cutting board. I'm just going to flour it. And then we're going to take our pasta. It's a lot easier doing it by hand. You can see it coming off. And it helps if you get some flour on your hands. And there's our dough. Okay. Now I'm just going to roll it here. You can see it has a nice soft consistency. You don't want to mix too much flour into it, but I always like to hand knead it just a little bit. And you don't want to overdo it because it makes the dough too stiff, but you want to get it mixed well enough that you get some nice air inside of it. And then we're going to set it down to rest for about an hour or two in the refrigerator before we put it to use. So that looks pretty good. You can see the nice air bubbles that are already formed in there. That's our ball of dough right there. Take some plastic wrap. We're going to lay that down on there. And I'm going to get just a touch of olive oil. Just a little bit. It just keeps it from drying out. We're going to wrap it. Close it up. And there you have it. I'm going to put that in the refrigerator and I'm going to let that sit for, like I said, about 2 hours. It rests. It gives the flour time to absorb the egg and make a nice consistency pasta. And then we'll be back in a little bit. Today I'm going to make some ricotta pine nut cappellettis. And that's what we're going to have for dinner. We're going to put that in a nice chicken broth and enjoy.